Hi you guys, my name is Cherita. Welcome to my channel. All right, so I'm not gonna just sit down and start recording as if I literally haven't uploaded a video since October. So I'm gonna give you guys an explanation. And the explanation is seasonal affective disorder. Seasonal mood affective disorder, SAD, depression, whatever you wanna call it, that's my excuse. It always hits around October, September, October, and it lasts until about January. And because we are in the middle of a pandemic and because I'm not traveling for work, which is what I normally do during these months, I've just been at home, cooped up in my house, staying alive. So there's my excuse, but I missed you guys and I figured December is a great time to come back to YouTube because I've greatly missed all of you guys. So now that that is out of the way, hi, how are you guys? Today's video, it's a video that I really didn't want to do, but I keep talking, I keep having the conversation in my head, so we're just going to talk about it now. I'm also using my phone to film. I usually use a camera, but I'm using my phone because I got the new 12 Pro and I just want to see how it looks or whatever. So anyways, today's video, I'm going to be discussing the restaurant that just went viral, True Kitchen and Kocktails, and how I feel about the whole situation, to be honest. All right, so yesterday or the day before, whenever, there was a video of this man. I don't remember his name. I'll put it somewhere. I think it's like Kevin Kelly maybe. And he's seen screaming at a bunch of customers. He's in his restaurant and he's screaming and yelling about how, well, okay, maybe screaming and yelling is taking it too far, but he's definitely lecturing this group of people as if he's like a high school, no, elementary principal. And basically what he's yelling about, to sum it up, is how he wants his restaurant to be respected, but at the same time, he is bringing out Black respectability politics, and he was just a little bit misogynistic, or a lot of it. But that's the gist of the video. If you haven't seen the video, I'll link it because I really do not want to embed that video, but I'll link it. If you guys haven't seen it, he's basically yelling and saying, hey, I built this restaurant for Black people and I want Black people to do better. And if you don't like it, you can get out. And what set him off was a woman who happened to be twerking in his restaurant. Now, there's a lot that led up to this. So he had already spoken to these people, his patrons, and they were standing on his couch or his furniture and they were twerking to twerkable songs. And I guess at one point he came up to them and said, hey, this is not, what we want in our establishment. Can you go ahead and take a seat? Blah, 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 blah. Well, I guess the twerking music continued to play and, homegirl was, doing the splits. She was twerking, whatever. So then that's when he was like, hey, he stopped everybody and then was like, oh, DJ, cut the music, which the song that happened to be playing was Throw That Ass in a Circle, but we'll get there. And that's basically when he was just like, women, you need to respect yourselves. I'm trying to make this an environment where I can teach men to respect women. It's fine. But instead, and then he definitely said, you can get the F out. He cussed at these people. But here's the thing. What one person does not mean that you need to scream and yell at your entire restaurant. He could have easily told them to leave. He could have quietly cussed them out in that corner. But he didn't have to stop and make it a thing about Black respectability politics and misogynoir. Because in my opinion, that's what he made it about. Now, here's the thing. Multiple things can be true at once. Should she have put her feet on somebody else's furniture, especially after he had already asked not to do that? Should she have done it? No. However, don't be surprised when you are feeding your patrons large amounts of alcohol, and not just large amounts of alcohol, but in like Douce bottles, Hennessy bottles, Patron bottles, and then play music, club-like music, and not expect somebody to, I don't understand, especially if you are a Black owner and you're giving off this club kind of vibe. We're not even gonna get into the fact that this is happening during an entire pandemic, but that's for another day. So I feel as if these people were kind of set up, because what the guy was saying was how, he's like, this is a nice restaurant. I want this to be about class, and I want it to be classy. Okay. What is classy about throw that ass in a circle? What's classy about reusing old alcohol bottles? It seems like it was a lot of Black culture, but once people started acting Black or started acting that culture, then it was an issue. And I think I think one of the main things that really made me upset is when he was like, oh, if you want to twerk, you can go to this establishment or that establishment, because you don't see white people acting like this in their establishments. Okay, time out. Hard pause. We know there's different Americas. We do know that there's a white America. We do know there's a Black America. We also do know that there's like Latin America. There's a lot of different diversity when it comes to America in general. So, a lot of people in the comments were saying like, you wouldn't see that happening at like Ruth Chris. And it's like, okay, but they're also not playing throw that ass in a circle at Ruth Chris. But I guarantee you, if Ruth Chris, during happy hour and they played like pour some sugar on me or Sweet Caroline, and those white people had been waiting for 2 hours for their food and you were just pushing liquor down their throats, I guarantee you, would they twerk? Probably not, but you best believe that, woo, would they not? So first of all, stop comparing Black culture to white culture. Just stop. Because white people aren't forced to act a certain way. White people don't code switch like Black people do. Black people code switch all the time. There's been things on like TikTok, on Twitter that have been viral where people go, oh, we're code switching, and they'll do their code switch voice. Where they're like, this is how I talk at home, and this is how I talk in my customer service voice. And a lot of the code switching, which I found ironic, was the Black community, which had to code switch to normal America. And then this is something that I didn't even think of, is the gay community, where gay men had to put on their code switching voice. They couldn't be flamboyant, or they couldn't talk in a high-pitched voice. They had to put on their deeper, more masculine voice. So though, like, don't try to make it seem as if white people have to code switch all over America, because they don't. So when Black people come into an all Black environment and they're fed Black drinks and they're fed Black music, why are you surprised when they act Black? Like, it's mind-blowing. And for him to talk about, oh, like, we want you to respect yourselves. Okay, twerking and self-respect do not go hand in hand. There are plenty of people who do not respect themselves who've never twerked a day in their life. There's plenty of people who respect themselves to the utmost respect and they twerk for a living. Like, we have to separate this twerking equals disrespect, because it doesn't. In America, we sexualize everything way too much, to the point where you're just like, oh, if a girl's twerking, that means she probably wants to have sex. Like, what? Where does that make any sense? It doesn't. We need to stop sexualizing everything. If we didn't sexualize everything, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Just like, okay, dancing, majorette dancing. If you don't know what that is, look it up. You can check out the show Bring It. But there's a lot of what people would call sexualized moves, but these kids start majorette as young as like 5 years old. They're just dancing. It's part of the culture. It's part of, and a lot of majorette dancing is done in the South. Like, honestly, just think of any HBCU and watch how their majorettes dance. And this starts at a young age. It starts at a young age. These 5-year-olds, they don't know what these dance moves are supposed to mean. They just know they're dancing, they're having fun, they're having a good time, they're enjoying themselves. So, does twerking happen to fall under majorette? Probably a little bit, but that doesn't mean that twerking is a sexualized, or it shouldn't mean that twerking is a sexualized move. And then on top of that, like, I feel like twerking is part of Black culture. Like, I feel like it goes hand in hand with just Black culture in general. And okay, side tangent. A lot of people will say, well, how come we can't say white culture or whatever? Okay, well, because white culture doesn't exist. When you talk to any white American, you can say, oh, where are you from? What is your nationality? And they'll be like, I'm 25% French, I'm 13% German, I'm 34% Italian. Like, they know where they come from. Black people don't have that privilege. We just know that our ancestors were taken and brought here and then split up, and put in different parts of the country. That's what we know. So I don't know what part of Africa that I came from, because Africa is a whole continent. That's just like Asian people know exactly what country they're from in that continent. Black people don't have that advantage. They don't. So that's why Black culture became a thing. And for people to sit there and just be like, well, I don't want to act like that in front of white people, because then they're going to think we're ghetto and ratchet and this and that. And it's like, I don't see anything wrong with having fun. And people have fun in different ways. Now, if this man wanted to be classy, it needs to be classy from head to toe. His place is called True Kitchen and Cocktail. Cocktail spelled with a K. We can sit there and claim that that's ghetto. Because I've been asked, like, ew, why do you talk Black when I, like, on Twitter, and I'll say something like tombow instead of talking about. And people are like, ew, don't say that. That's ghetto. No, that's how I talk. That's how I speak. That's how I tweet. So if you really want to be classy, let's start from the beginning. True Kitchen and Cocktails with a K. No, sorry, that's not classy. And then the dress code, oh my God, the dress code was like, no do-rags, no slides, especially the fuzzy ones, no bodysuits. Like, all you had to say was dress business casual. And then a lot of people are saying, well, maybe they don't know what business casual is. Well, then maybe they shouldn't go into that restaurant. They can always decline you as well. If he wanted it to be classy, that's what it should say, not don't do this or don't do that. Because what that dress code said was don't dress Black, because I've seen that plenty of times at upscale places where they're targeting Black patrons. No Jordans, no dreadlocks, no Fenty, I don't know, whatever it is. They'll say it without saying no Black people. And I felt like it was just giving me very like, we want Black people, but we don't want those kind of Black people. That's what it was giving me. And while we're on the topic of Black respectability, let's talk. Because I know for a fact, people will be like, oh my God, that's so ghetto. First of all, They call this ghetto. Secondly, the fact that I'm missing 2 nails. This one, like literally my whole nail, including my real nail, came off. So this is just about to be skinned for a while. So get over it. And then this nail, it popped off last night. And I don't care. I don't. It seems like it would be a lot of, don't wear your, you can't have nails over X amount of inches long. You can't have, like, it was just giving me very anti-black that's rooted in whiteness. It's rooted in white America. So also, again, let's go back to the music choice. If you want it to be classy, now I don't care if it was a kids bop version. Don't play that kind of music. There's nothing wrong with a little Kenny G. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of Boys to Men. There's nothing wrong with setting the mood the way that you want it to be set. But you can't give this environment, what am I trying to say? You can't make the environment one way and expect people to act another. Like, that just, it doesn't make sense to me. And people are like, yeah, if you want to twerk, go somewhere else. They probably thought that was the somewhere else. You walk by, you hear the music. What do you expect? And then people are like, well, it's not my fault. You can't control yourself. It has nothing to do with controlling yourself. Did the sign say no twerking? Because, if it did, I must have missed it. But there's ways that you can express that you don't want that without cussing out your entire restaurant. So I don't know. It's a lot. And I know a lot of people had things to say. And I don't think this man is going to lose out on much money just because a lot of the people who agree with him, which I agree to an extent. I don't agree with how he said it, and I don't agree with the atmosphere that he put out there. If he wants his restaurant to be ran a certain way, then he needs to run it the way that he expects people to act. But whatever, again, that's just me. And then it doesn't help that, he's got 2 sides. He's got the restaurant, then he's got the club side. And like on that same like Instagram account, he's advertising Cisco, the thong song, girls twerking. And it's like, okay, so you said you wanted a nice place for Black people to go, and according to you, I guess twerking doesn't mean nice. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. But of course, Black people never fail. Hashtag True Kitchen. Ooh. True Kitchen Menu. I think that's what it is. Y'all, somebody said they were serving on that menu, they would have been serving red beans and rice. Yeah. And then, you just have to go look at the hashtag. It was hysterical. And I haven't stopped laughing since. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Oh, okay. So my brain. Okay. So I know we said we shouldn't be comparing, what white restaurants are doing and what other cultures are doing in their restaurants. But a lot of people were like, like I mentioned before, oh, white people wouldn't be twerking in Ruth Chris. But there was this viral video of this old white man. Now, granted, I don't know where he was. So this could be this point could be moot. I watch too much Friends. This could be a moot point. However, it seems like he was in a restaurant and he was dancing. Now, was he twerking? No. But he was getting it and everybody was just, oh my God, yes, go off. He's invited to the barbecue. So which is it? Which is it? We need to stop putting so much negative emphasis when Black people are just enjoying themselves. Because again, nobody else gets the same pushback, and a lot of it is coming from our own Black people. Homegirl was having fun. Yes, she was in his restaurant. If he did not like the way that she was acting, he could have asked her to leave. Sometimes people need to be cussed out. Maybe she needed to be cussed out, but to do that in front of the whole restaurant, nah. And then his little Martin Luther King I have a dream speech didn't make it any better. So yeah, that's it. That's it. Just let's have the conversation in the comments below. I really needed to get that off my chest. So thank you guys so much, so much for watching. I do have a new project coming up shortly. I'll let you guys know in a new video, in a separate video, what that is going to be, but it's in the works and I'm really excited. Should be finished by the end of this week. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. Also, do not forget to link up with me on my social media. All of that information will be down below in the description box. And until my next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye.